Cheers, everyone. Dave Brown here with the New Populist. Thank you again for joining me. Normally, in my videos, I like to talk about one in particular topic, but in this video, I want to talk about several issues relating to the Republican Party. As you well know, we have an election coming up in 2024, and one thing that Republicans are very good at, unfortunately, is self-sabotage. We seem to get in our own way and hurt our own electoral chances. In the last few days, there have been several things in the news that I've seen where I'm just rolling my eyes going, oh, Christ almighty. I see us doing it again by saying and doing things that are just not very helpful for our cause. So I want to cover these issues now. The first thing, Ukraine. If you have seen my videos, you would know that I am not a fan of this proxy war with Ukraine. I feel that we are using the Ukrainian nation as crash dummies against Russia. It's unfair to them, and it has gotten a lot of people killed. And there is a growing attitude among Republicans against this war, just sort of hostility. And I understand that. We should be spending money in our own country, not in other countries. So when we hear that Zelensky is coming here to beg for more money, it is frustrating. But one thing I've seen, though, is people are not just saying that we shouldn't give Ukraine money, but I'm hearing this refrain of F Ukraine. And it really bothers me because you can be against giving Ukraine money. That's fine. But I don't understand why you would say F Ukraine. They are being decimated. If some reports are true, they have lost 300, 400,000 men. There are men being kidnapped off the streets, forced to fight, people trying to flee the country. We have Zelensky saying he wants European countries that have Ukrainian men to return those men so they can go to the front where they would probably be killed. So when you say F Ukraine, I'm going, how is that making us as a party look good when we come off that callous? So I want to play a short clip of Candace Owens, who I do like, a very intelligent person. I like her a lot. But she says this as well, and it just shocks me. So here's the clip.
When I was watching the Republican debates and they're sitting here trying to make me cry for people in Ukraine. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Have you looked around America yet? Do you really think that this is what the people at home are going to respond to, perpetually telling them that they have to care about another nation more than their own backyards, that they should be caring more about what's happening in Ukraine, and Chris Christie trying to pitch it, and Pence trying to pitch it, and Nikki Haley, we need to be the police officers of the world when we can't even police her. We can do both. No, we obviously can't. Like, have you walked down the streets of Los Angeles? Have you walked down New York? We clearly obviously can't do both, right? And so having, I think, that the courage to stand on something that doesn't feel establishment popular or mainstream media popular, but that you understand is what people are actually feeling. And, I'm very much a person that from the very beginning has said F Ukraine. I stand on that. And I would have said it if I was on the debate stage. Like, I would have let them all do their little pitch and the cries and the tears, because this gets into the
why if Ukraine is what I ask. Why?
Because rich men north of Richmond, you know what I mean? Because Richmond north of Richmond, because people literally can't put food on the table. You've stopped people from working in America.
So that clip there just annoys the heck out of me because yes, we need to take care of Americans, but why can't we say that and support that without saying F Ukraine? Now, we know some of these personalities, they will say things for attention, to get more eyes on them. So I'm certain that that's part of it. But I hate seeing people who are so intelligent, who are useful for the conservative, the anti-establishment side, going to that lengths there to say F Ukraine. And I see the two on Twitter, on X, and I think us Republicans, we would be smart to not be that callous and say things that are unnecessary, inflammatory. Again, there are hundreds of thousands of people being killed over there, And even if you do not support our effort in supporting it, you don't need to say that. So really disappointing to hear people say that, and I would tell Republicans, stop saying that. The next issue, always divisive, abortion. We recently had President Trump on Meet the Press doing a long interview, and the topic of abortion came up, and he was being Trump. He was trying to evade or avoid giving a certain answer. Or the person interviewing him, of course, is trying to pin him down on things. These sort of gotcha questions, and you know how it is with press, with the press and Donald Trump. It's really contentious. But he did say that he thought it was a bad idea for Florida to have this 6-week abortion law, a ban on abortion, and he was, obviously going after Ron DeSantis. Now, it is politics. We are campaigning. DeSantis and Trump are both obviously attacking each other, but I wasn't a huge fan of him, going after, this one bill here. Although I do agree with the sentiment that being so restrictive on the abortion issue may not be a good thing, and actually might backfire. Now, you may feel differently. You're pro-life. I'm not trying to talk you off of that, but looking at things from an electoral standpoint, I think it's very dangerous. We had in Kansas in 2022 that referendum about where abortion wouldn't be guaranteed. They try to change the state constitution. And what happened in Kansas, in a very, very deep red state? Well, it did not go through. 60% almost were against this law that would not ensure abortion. So even a deep red state wants some level of abortion. And so it really comes down to, where should that line be at? Should it be at 6 weeks like in Florida? Should it be at 12 weeks? Should it be at 20 weeks? Everybody has a different opinion. But the problem is that both sides on the extremes are just not going to compromise at all. And what Trump was doing in this interview, he was trying to find a compromise, saying, let's sit down and work it out. Roe v. Wade needed to be overturned. It was bad law. Return to the states. I would prefer the states to deal with it. But if you want to deal with it at a federal level, we can sit down and compromise. And I'm not against that, having both sides compromise. But the problem is, as Trump should know by now, both sides don't want to compromise, especially on the abortion issue. And Matt Walsh, another person I like, he was on Twitter really going after Trump here. And he said this a long time ago. He said, an awful answer from a moral perspective. There's nothing terrible about stopping the satanic abortion industry from mass murdering human children. So he's obviously being very inflammatory. It's, satanic. And then he said here that opposing abortion with exceptions is morally an incoherent position. But then just, I think today or yesterday, he retweeted this thing saying that, well, a 15-week abortion, federal abortion ban could easily be constructed as the utmost limit, implying that he would support a 15-week federal abortion ban. Well, hold on now. If you're saying that there is no compromise on abortion, why would you support a ban at 15 weeks? Why not an absolute ban at all? So you see here, even he is compromising. And that's the point Trump was trying to make. That's the point, I support, is that you have to compromise at some level. And even people who are fanatic are actually compromising if they don't even realize it. So Trump was trying to avoid giving an answer here that would nail him down. He understands the politics of it. He understands that most people in this country do not want to ban abortion. And if we make it an issue in the 2024 election, that is bad news for Republicans, and he was trying to avoid that in his very sometimes incoherent and Trumpian manner. So that's what he did. Another issue, Vivek Ramaswamy, guy I like a lot. Well, not a lot, but he's said a lot of things that I do like. The one thing I question with him is his authenticity. It looks like he studied Trump, his positions, and refined it or took his positions but portrayed him in a much more coherent way. So the way I look at him is like Trump is authentic but not coherent and precise, whereas Vivek is coherent and precise, but I question his authenticity. That's my problem with Vivek. So he had this answer about immigration, about deporting people, that got a lot of attention. And here's what he said.
The family unit will be deported. As a family unit, we will never separate families, but we will debureaucratize the process for which law-abiding citizens and their families have a path to legal immigration into the country if they meet the criteria.
The child who's born in the United States, who is a birthright citizen of the United States, would also be deported in that,
Yes,
in that case?
that's correct. And I think that there are legally contested questions, and I'm honest about this. They're contested. But there are legally contested questions under the 14th Amendment of whether the child of an illegal immigrant is indeed a child who enjoys birthright citizenship or not. We will follow the Constitution and the law, letter of the law to a T. But the point I was making with respect to the families, we will never use separation of families as a deterrent. I think that's a mistake. I'm a pro-family person. But we have to stand and abide by the rule of law where the family is returned to the country of origin. And then under the right circumstances, certain families will be given a path back through legal immigration.
So the issue of the 14th Amendment, do anchor babies born in this country to illegal immigrants, are they U.S. citizens? And as you pointed out, we haven't clarified this at the at SCOTUS, but in practice, the administrative state has given those children citizenship. So I don't like the idea of him saying that we're going to deport the family together if that child is in fact a U.S. citizen, and that's the way we've been treating them. Then we have no right to deport that child. Now the parents we can deport, and they may or may not choose to take that child with them. So I would not say that or support that, deporting the child. And the courts, they will step in. If he tries to do that, you can be darn sure, if you were president, that they would not allow him to deport a child that was born in this country under the grounds that they weren't an actual citizen. And then they'll get kicked up the chain, and perhaps at some point we would clarify that. Now, what is my personal position on this issue? I think if you are born in this country, you should be granted citizenship, with the exception, obviously, where you have foreign dignitaries coming here, and then somebody gives birth. Well, they're not a citizen. That's clear. But if you make it across that border and your child is born here and your child is enrolled in preschool or kindergarten, in my opinion, that is a U.S. citizen. And sort of like the Ukraine issue, where we shouldn't be angry at the immigrants. They're doing exactly what I would do, exactly what you would do if you were struggling and looking for a better life. So you get across the border, good for you. Your child's born here, they're a citizen. The people you should be really going after are the politicians who've created this mess. Those are the enemy, not the immigrants, and I wouldn't punish the immigrants that way, and the courts would not allow it in the first place. Again, like Ukraine, the Ukrainians aren't the problem. It is our politicians. That is where your rage and frustration should be focused, at the politicians who are doing all this stuff, not people who are struggling, trying to get a better life or trying to fight for their existence over there in Eastern Europe. So let's keep the ire aimed at the correct people. Although I'm not implying that Vivek was being hateful toward immigrants, but saying he would deport everybody, I'm not a huge fan of that. And the very last thing, we have this incident in Colorado, I think. Lauren Boebert, in the old theater there, doing something inappropriate. This Marjorie Green, Lauren Boebert, they occasionally say things they like as far as going after the government, and but the problem is imbalance. they're really embarrassing, and it's frustrating. And some people have pointed out this meme, which is kind of funny. Um, there's liberals saying, "Oh my God, there were children at this event," and as people pointed out, well, what about all these drag shows for children? So it seems to ring a little hollow that you're going to say what she did was inappropriate in a dark room, some petting going on, versus man with G-strings dancing for children. But that being said, I don't judge our behavior by other people. She is embarrassing what she's doing, and I would encourage somebody in that state to primary her, because we really could do better than people like her who are just bringing bad attention to our party. She's kind of the Sarah Palin of Colorado, if I could put it that way, and we can do better. There's no reason to defend her behavior. Yes, we can laugh at the left and go, "You guys are 1,000 times worse, so save your outrage." But for us Republicans, we should demand better and not support people who are acting like complete trash in public. That's just embarrassing. So we got to knock that stuff off. Well, that is it. Those are the things that have been in the news that have been bothering me. 2024, the election is there for us to take if we do not get in our own way and self-sabotage. Fingers crossed, and because if the Republicans are good at one thing, it is, sabotaging themselves. And look at McCarthy right now with this government shutdown, with this impeachment. It's just, we could be so much more effective if we had better leaders in the Republican Party, which we do not have in our U.S. Congress. Obviously, McConnell's out to lunch. He's not even there anymore. McCarthy was weak, and it's annoying. It's right there for us. Look at Biden. For Christ's sakes, that guy can't even talk. Neither can I sometimes, but hey. Well, that's it for now. If you are new to this channel, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.